Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. PSR is excited to present to you Last Call, featuring your boy, the pimp slap POD, Mike M.
Pimpin' ain't easy, but it's fun like money. Got bookies on the run, now it's time to get money. Not your typical way to ball. It's last call like some convicts waiting on the next draw. You can feel the tension. Did I mention? Fools better pay attention, cause we getting paid like a pension. T's on the ones and twos, we not the ones that lose. Mike Money's killers might even make the evening news.
And now, let's get to the picks.
We be pumping!
Buzz Force Radio, you know we be pumping!
What up? What up? Welcome on into Last Call. Here we go. It's Thursday already. Can you believe it? It's April 25th, one day away from the weekend here. Thursday is the bridge to the weekend, and you're at the right spot. We're going to try to get this cash tonight. Enjoy this short sports slate, but it's the playoffs, so there's always so much fun to be had out there. Look, Major League Baseball, they did us dirty. They gave us just one game. Happens to be a Yankees game out there, so that'll be a lot of fun. Then we've got two NHL games to talk about. We've got the game between the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning right now. Tampa Bay going back home down 2-0 in the series. Carolina's going to go on up to New York. They're going to play the Islanders in New York. Islanders are down 2-0 in that series. What an epic meltdown they had. That last game they had Carolina dead to rights. And then they did what they do in the third period, and that was puke. They sucked. Then we go into the NBA, and we've got ourselves 3 games lined up out there. Do or die time for all 3 of these teams out there. And we're going to have a lot of fun talking about that Cavs game, the Cavs and the Magic, the Sixers and the Knicks. And then, of course, the I was going to call him the LeBron's Lakers there, but I don't know if LeBron wants to have his name anywhere near what's going on with that Denver Nuggets team out there. They've just been slapping him around. Gagnon says it's NFL draft season. Look, I'll tell you what. I may have unloaded the clip on some NFL draft plays out there. So it's going to be a lot of fun to talk about this tonight. Of course, we got our guy Miggity Mac coming in there to give us the lowdown and how he's going to get paid tonight. So it should be a lot of fun to get into it. You guys know the deal here with Last Call. 3 things we ask you to do. Smash that thumbs up button, show the support, help us build the community, and let them know where you're hanging out there. Let's let them all know Ball Sports Radio is here doing it on the regular. We do it every day. Monday to Friday, 6 p.m., Last Call. We have weekend shows, all kinds of things popping off all over the place out there. Hit that thumbs up. Show the appreciation. You guys know it as well. Grab a pen and paper. Lots to write down here, not just from the panel, myself, and Miggity Mac, but, of course, the chat, the sharpest chat in the business. You guys are great. Coming in here on the regular, bringing in your best plays. Of course, we want you guys to share those plays out there as well. We want to talk about what you're trying to get paid on out there, and let's all work with the same goal in mind. Take that money from them bookies. Let's get it into our bankrolls, and let's build this thing here. We'll see. It should be a nice, short, sweet, and to the point slate tonight. We got plenty of time to get into it, so we're going to do just that. We'll start off with that single Major League Baseball game. I dropped it out there on the X promo. A same game parlay for us. A little, I think it's a 525 to 1, or just over a 5-1 same game parlay out there. So we'll talk about that. It's just 3 legs, short, sweet, to the point. Then we'll jump in and we'll get into the NHL. A couple nice little trends. You know it's Thursday. You know what happens on Thursday when a certain team takes to the ice. We'll see if that's going to ring true in the NHL tonight with the playoffs. And then, of course, in the NBA, first half unders. We'll get back in there and we'll figure out which ones we're going to attack as well. But let's see what you guys got doing in the chat. We'll give it a recap, then we'll launch into this thing and get ourselves on our way to getting a big payday tonight. Joe T in the house, my first guy in again. He says, "Hey, Mike M, what's up? Let's get that cash 2-1 on the first period overs. Live bet that Oilers second period over 1.5 and plus money, easy money, going right back to it. NHL best bets, both games, first period over 1.5. He says easy money again. 24-6 his last 30 to the first period over for the Tampa Bay spot. And yes, I know Florida on a Thursday. Just 2 goals in the first. Then you can have your under. Tampa has hit the first period over 1.5, 28 of 42 times at home. That's a big number out there for our guy, Joe T. Appreciate you coming in and sharing, Joe. Old E in the house. Let's go. Markel's out there. Jay Peasy. you don't know, Jay Peasy wrote the intro, did all the intros out there. That guy, we found his calling, and that is to smash these openings out there and let him know exactly what they're in store for. My guy, Jay Peasy, appreciate you. Top set in the house, Ross Pitts, 76ers under, Canes Islanders over, Lakers versus Nuggets. That's going to be an interesting little breakdown there. Is that Canes Islanders? Canes Islanders over, and then Lakers versus okay. Ross Pitts, it's great to see you. Appreciate you, my guy. Gagnon in the house. Beef. Let's go, Gagnon. It's time to eat, my guy. Let's get that meat. Jay Peasy says, I'm on the Islanders, Canes, first period under. Lightning money line and Soto home run for our guy, Jay Peasy. One of those guys multiple plays might have made the card tonight. We'll see. I'll tell you what, one of those home run props might have made the same game parlay. And since you only gave out one, it's not too hard to figure out which one we're going after out there. Gerald Jones is hot on the MLB picks today. Best bet, Sixers first quarter, -2.5 for our guy, Gerald Jones. Gagnon says, interesting. Jay Peasy's talking to Oldie's in the house. Mike Wilkerson says, Maxey, first quarter points over. The Cheshire Cat says, Mike, I have suspicions. I hope you aren't one of the troll accounts. Cheshire Cat, I'm a grown-ass man. I don't have time to waste with all this nonsense going back and forth. I'm here to get paid. Anywhere I show up, I'm there to get paid. I don't know, man. You guys got too much. I said this before. You're not betting enough if you got time to be going out there rolling troll accounts. I don't know what the hell's going on with you guys, man, but time to get serious. Act like some grown-ass men. Let's go, damn it. J Dub says Cavs Magic under 201. Zane Cole says Cleveland first half under 105.5. Cleveland total points over 201. And Cleveland money line plus 800 is a three-legger for our guy Zane Cole. Cheshire, I don't know, man. You're always welcome to hang out, but don't put that shit on me, dude. Bottom line. Voodoo Ranger 95 says Pirates parlay. Hart Allen double plus 105. Gagnon says, are you going to drop your draft bets out there? I will talk about him, Gagnon. If you want to hear him, I will talk about him with you. Londo says, hey, Mikey, any intersecting zero spots today? I think we have him in the NBA. I think we do have him in the NBA. Dabby Cab, always talking about nut sacks. Why wouldn't he be doing it here? It's good to see you, Dabby. Appreciate you dropping in. J Stone 9 says, I'm banning myself from the chat. Absolutely ridiculous Stars game. Oh, man, they wanted that revenge, though. They were going to go out there and get the revenge. What happened? Oh, man, Vegas. Let's go, Vegas, out there. Hey, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. They got themselves $3 million plus in salary, but there's no caps in the playoffs. Let's go. Futon Bets says Lakers first quarter. Old E. Dabby says, I smell a skunk. And J Dub likes the Sixers first quarter -2.5 as well. The first half -4.5. Markel in the house there. Gagnon says Rockies and Padres are scrapping. And that's good, man. I got I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with you, Cheshire. I hope you get it figured out, my guy. Jay Peasy says, if the Canes, with all due respect, Jay Peasy says, if the Canes first period doesn't cash, I'm hammering the full game under. Man, you guys know the deal. These playoffs. The first half goes, first period goes over, you play the game under live. The first period goes under, you play the full game over live. It's going to be a situation to kind of keep our eyes on and see how it evolves through the NHL playoffs. J Dub likes the Lake Show first half -2.5. We'll be talking about all the games on the card tonight. There's only 6 of them for you guys and girls, so going to be a lot of fun to get into it. Let's do some recapping. How about that? Let's do some recapping. And, let's get on to business here. Joe T says NHL playoffs are 12-5 to the first period overs. Just throwing it out there. Chris Commentini in the house. Dabby Cab. Well, we're past the 8-minute mark. Dabby Cab says only a pussy uses a troll account. It says, if I got something to say, I'll say it. I know you will. That's how I feel, man. I'm the same way. You guys, I don't know, man. I don't know. The drama's high. I'm going to tell you guys what. Start betting more. If you start betting more, you'll care about less. Just a fact. And I don't mean more as in games. I mean more as in you're only betting $100, make it 1,000. I guarantee you won't give a shit about any trolls out there in those chats. Subhuman Gaucho says the hockey play of the day from our guy Subhuman Gaucho is on Reinhardt over 2.5 shots on goal at -115. Our guy is trotting along there. Juggler 23. The guy that bringing in the wise guy plays of the day says the NBA trend of the day. Teams that lose close games or those decided by 3 points or less in the first round of the NBA playoffs have bounced back with a 37-13, straight up 33-15-2 spread record, winning at 68.8% out there. Nice juggler 23. I like that stat there. That sounds like a good one for us to take an eye on. Andrew G says, breaking news. William Nylander suffering from severe migraines. Not good, Mikey. Interesting spot there. Interesting spot for sure. Jason Work in the house says, Mikey, money, let's cash tonight. Abel A says, Lakers Nuggets over 111.5 in the first half there. Abel A. Nasty Nate says, no need to recap the NBA. You don't want to talk about the Celtics? The Celtics smash spot? Nasty Nate? There's no smash. I'll tell you what, we did smash. A huge live bet at halftime on that money line for them Miami Heat there. It was good stuff, guys. Let's get into it. I see Patrick McDonough Hugh. I'll be all right. I just got to get my head and my ass wired together. Takes me a little bit to get going, you guys. It's going to be just fine. Kelsey's in the house. Fernando Mendoza took the Brewers money line, Brewers run line, and then parlayed the Brewers money line and the Phillies money line. And Debbie Cap says, speaking of trolls, man, you guys are on one today. I'll tell you that much. Look, it was kind of a shit night last night across the board. Gave some back. Our first half unders. We went after him, the full game unders. Wasn't an under night. Doesn't matter if you were doing the Operation Garcia there with Jimmy the Bag and company. That wasn't a great spot. It was just a lot of points scored last night. So it didn't work out. It was a 4-9 night. The Phillies shit the bed. The Nationals went for it the first 5 and the full game. I mean, that's anytime you start off with three L's like that, it's no bueno. Toronto under 8.5 cash for us, though. We got that Boston Bruins spot. I told you, those boys are looking for motivation. Unfortunately, the under 6 pushed. It pushed, unfortunately. Then that Edmonton game was just a mess. I should have gone in there with Vegas. You know what's funny is I hammered Vegas, too. I don't know where I gained the confidence between this show and then the actual puck drop. But nonetheless, the Kings team total under 2.5 is a flop. Edmonton blew it in regulation. And then those NBA unders just hurt. You know, Miami first half full game unders. OKC first half full games. The positive note, OKC first half -4.5 and OKC -7.5 did cash. So made a little ground back there, but we got some work to do now. We've been having ourselves a tremendous week. We will not let it set us back. But I do want to bring on our guest here, our co-host when it comes to flying right here with Last Call. Thursdays, you guys know the deal with our boy Miggity Mac coming in there to drop the goods for us. And as soon as I see his camera pop on, we will bring him in. In the meantime, though, let's get teed up to talk about some of the sports on the board here. First game we're going to look at here, no tee today, so I am running the 1s and 2s myself here, and we'll see if I can figure this whole thing out. Yes, I can. Oh, yes, I can. We'll start this thing off. We'll talk about this Yankees and Oakland game. We'll start off with the numbers. You guys know the deal. We talk about the bets, we talk about the cash, and then we talk about and analyze the reaction from the markets. That's what it's all about. That's the gap that most people are missing. You know, we look at the bets. We say percentage of bets are going to kind of involve everything. It's parlays, it's teasers, it's $5 tickets, it's $2 tickets, it's the 12-leg parlays. All of that kind of touches the percentage of bets bucket. Then we look at the percentage of money bucket and we say, based on the percentage of cash, those are going to be your bigger bettors, your straight play bettors, the ones that are just going out there, dropping 10 grand on a game. They say, screw your parlays. I just want to hit this game hard. And then we look at that, and based on the bets or the public, the money, generally be the sharps, then we look to try to measure the reaction. This Yankees game opened up at -250, 97% of the bets, 97% of the cash. On the Yankees spot here, it's moved from 250 to 260, -250 to -260. Big move there for a big number with everybody on these New York Yankees. This total opened at 7.5, and it's moved to 8s. There's some 8s out there. Still some 7.5s as well, slightly juiced. 72% of the bets and 70% of the cash when we look at this total on the over. It's nasty Nestor Cortez. And then we've got Wood on the other side of this thing here. Alex Wood in the Oakland A's uniform with a 7.89 ERA, 0-2 on the season. Let's see if I can make this work here. Trying to make this work here. Nope, I couldn't make it work, but that's fine. We'll get into it. I was trying to get that little logo side screen there. I'll figure it out. Somebody smarter than me has to come in here and control the helm, but that's okay. We'll talk about this game here. Look, we'll get short, sweet, to the point. Short card tonight. There's not a lot of time, not a lot of reason to belabor what's kicking around here. 3-leg parlay for me. It's plus 525 when it comes down to this game here. First and foremost, Nasty Nestor. When Nasty Nestor's in the favorite role at minus 200 or higher, he's 8-0 straight up. So he's been out there kicking ass and taking names in that spot there. Then I did some deeper dive analytics there, some analysis with regards to what's going on. And guess what he does? He strikes him out. He's getting almost 8 strikeouts on average over that span of 8 games when he's in a big favorite role out there. And then last but not least, I started to look at this thing and I said, well, let's take a look at some of these hitting props. There's our man Juan Soto sitting in the 2-hole. And, when you look at this thing, 17 at-bats against Alex Wood. Not too bad out there. Lefty-lefty matchup. 5 hits, 2 home runs, 2 RBIs, a .294 batting average. And we'll put a pause on it as we talk about our guest here. I just mentioned him coming in there, helping us navigate this thing on a Tuesday. Without further ado, let's bring on Miggity Mac Daddy in the house. What up,
Mikey?
How we doing?
What's going on? How we doing?
Trying to get that money, my guy. We need to get that money.
Shit. What up, what up? Shout out to the chat. Everyone in here, hit the goddamn like button, right, Mikey?
Just
yeah,
smart. Show us some good, right? Help us crack this code and break this algorithm and let them know Pub Sports Radio's here doing this on the regular. That's what I say every show. It's the most important thing you could do.
You hit it here, Mikey. This game, Rizzo, I think he went deep yesterday. It was the game before. I don't mind that. You mentioned the numbers. You have to have a piece of Soto here. He's getting ribbies in the 2-hole instead of taking the total bases. And we've seen him. He's one of these players, red hot. And when he gets cold, he was cold for the first 3 months last year in San Diego until the last couple. But plus 200 for the ribby and put a little on the jack. He had one yesterday. And you mentioned the 5 for 17, couple homers off Wood. I think you got to look at that.
Yeah, I don't think there's, you look at this, it's favorable hitting conditions. The wind's gusting out across the center leftish, 9.2 miles an hour. It's going to get chilly by the time this thing gets rolling, 51 degrees on its way down to probably around 45 by the time they get to the second half of this game or later. But I'll tell you, I went for the bomb. I went for the score in this one. It's been a good day this afternoon, with the exception of the Houston Astros melting on those Cubs in a 3-1 spot out there. The score didn't look as bad as that actually was. They had bases loaded in the first inning against them there, and they were able to get out of it. But anyhow, with the exception of that.
They had the bases loaded, tucking 10 times both teams yesterday. How that game didn't go over, it just boggled my fucking mind. God damn.
Well, I rolled them together. I got this. I'm going with the Yankees. Go be square if that's what I have to be. But I got the Yankees. I tied them together with the Soto RBI. And I added Nasty Nestor Cortez over 6.5 Ks or 7+. It's all the same. And that's a plus 525 same game parlay. So it's 3 legs. Not going to watch a shit ton of baseball tonight. There's only 1 game on. We got plenty to do. We got our guy Racing with Razor doing some stuff tonight as well. So I just wanted to be right to the point with this one. Give me the opportunity. Now, if you want to get smart with it or you want to back this thing up a little bit, since T-Mac and I are both talking the Soto opportunity, maybe not a bad idea to sprinkle a little bit on Soto for the RBI in case, Nasty Nestor doesn't get the K prop there for us. But again, he's averaging almost 8. I think it's like 7.85 consistently in this 8-0 spot. When he's the big favorite, he comes in and delivers the goods. And we know that this Oakland lineup, they can hit. There's no doubt they can hit, but I think it's a good opportunity.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I got an under, it goes over. But other than that, they find a way to go cold as ice. So.
Yeah. Well, yesterday I had that too. That under, 3-run bomb. The greatest equal. The slam's the slam, but the 3-run homer, Earl Weaver, killer, the 3-run bomb. That's what happened yesterday. The A's.
Yes, sir. Someone's asking for me to drop the parlay in the chat. I will do just that. Hang on with me while I'm navigating here. We will figure it all out together. How about that, C-Mac? No,
Yeah.
we got
Do your
no
thing. Take your time.
We got no
Plenty of time today.
We're not pressed with a 6:10 starting time out there, so that's always fortunate for us there. There you go. It's in the chat. We're good. Let's move on. Let's talk about some hockey here. It's a great night to have some NHL action in play, and well, we might as well start with the 7:00 spot here, right? We've got this Florida Panthers team. We've got the Tampa Bay Lightning. What a bunch of narratives going on here with this game. First of all, we see that they're down 2-0 in the series here. Bobrovsky is playing beyond stellar and ridiculous. A lot of talk about some of these injuries and kind of who's in and out of the lineups out there. We know the big news for the Florida Panthers, Sammy Bennett out with the upper body injury. They don't have a timetable on his return, but we know on the other side of things that Vasilevsky starting in goal, looking okay. I mean, he's been out there fighting their battle, and these guys have had literally the battle of the 1-goal series. 3-2 in both games. Unders have prevailed. C-Mac, I'm short and sweet on this one today, man. I'm on the Thursday trend. It's 18
Thursday
under for these Florida Panthers, man. There's no reason for me not to keep driving this train. 18-1. We'll see if it holds true in the playoffs. I was a little apprehensive that it might switch. It might switch over come playoff time, but we got two games. What do you think?
Yeah, how can you not go against that, Mikey? I worry there because I'm with you. I think it's under nothing. I think if this can go a little bit further of a series, I think we're going to get an over. As good as these teams can be, and the goaltenders you're ripping through, they're very talented offensively too. So I think we could get an over. But hey, the stat is pretty wild. And you know what? This is do or die. Is that Panthers win this series? Yeah, I really think they probably get back to the cup. Maybe not. I mean, that's just my feeling with them. I think they can. But I think it's do or die. And they haven't looked great. And to that under, these two, Mike, where years prior, the over was crazy good. The under's been, I think the last 10, it's 9-1, something like, I mean, they've played to a bunch more unders as of late the last couple of years, and now we have playoff hockey. So yeah, but give me the Lightning here, do or die. I really wanted plus money behind it, but I'm on them as much as I just said the Panthers and they win the series. Give me the Lightning tonight, baby. I think I got -105.
I know you and I got the opportunity to talk about it yesterday quite a bit on the live stream there, talking just about the series turning points and some of those factors out there. I was gonna, I'm not the one to overreact when it comes to these guys, but the Bennett injury is a big deal. I do feel like there's been a lot overmade. There's 20 guys on a roster, and usually it's the guys on the third and fourth lines that step up when it comes time for these deeper spots because they're a little more rested. They're not running on the top power plays. They're not running on the top lines out there. Now, obviously, you got to replace this guy. It's Lundell that's going to be the next man up, if you will, to kind of fill that hole. But this is Tampa's got to win this game. I mean, if they lose this game today, maybe they win the next one. With the series is over, and they can't afford to let that happen. They need to take advantage of home ice. They can't turn this thing around. Somebody asked me how often is the number 6 or 5.5 for these totals, and that's a good question. The number 6.5 right now, though. So we're at 6.5. And it's -130. You can get 6s out there as well. I'm not mad at anybody that wants to jump in on the 6 and try to save a little juice. But pretty much 6s across the board. There's a 6.5 at FanDuel, and it's -130. So in terms of the number of times that we've seen this number hit, where's this little, let me see if I can find it here. How many 5.5s are there? 1. And it still went under the 5.5 with a 1. I don't know if that was the game that they were asking about, but nonetheless, there's only one with a 5.5. But I would certainly look at that 6 out there. The average line we're seeing is 6.3. The final score we're seeing is 2.3 to 1.8. They're comfortably going under that number there. We'll keep riding that train and see if we can't figure out a way to get to the station with that one for us. But this next game probably has a little more opportunity here. I don't know. We'll see. I've got some countering points here for you guys with this one here. I'm very curious to hear C-Mac's breakdown here. The Carolina Hurricanes kind of dead to rights the other night, and then an explosion in that third period, and it's a 5-3 final. You know, the Islanders snuck in a goal at the end of that first period to go up 2-0. Then the game gets busted open 5-3 out there. And, you know, I was the proud recipient of a first period under and a full game under ticket out there. I was none too happy to see that. And both times I had stepped away for just a minute, and then all of a sudden, goal. And it got me in the old bottom mouth. Now, this total is marked at 5.5. And we've got a pretty juiced road favorite in these Carolina Hurricanes. See, Mac, I guess the big question I have is there a chance that the Islanders get swept here in this series? Because they don't look too good the way things are going right now. And that's got to be a pretty emotionally devastating loss to take that last game. What do you think about this spot?
Yeah, real quick on that last one. I just love the matchups. I think you go back to a ton of these because I was just going through the props. I'm not on a bunch, but, you know, Kachuk, Barkov on the other side. All these guys have got it done. Point, all of them. Stamkos. Kucherov, I think, might be a must. Maybe look at his point. Duclair, all those guys. So I just want to put that out there. I didn't bet anything on it, but looked that way. It was huge last year on that run. Kachuk was money for me, taking a lot of his shots on goal and his goals.
You remember his dad called him out. His dad told him he was soft, and then he just
which he's not, but yeah, sometimes the old man needs to.
And then he went on a tear. It was him and his brother, and they were in, you know, they get the conversation. I don't remember what exactly it was. I just remember he told him that they're playing too soft, and just lit the. It's like he wanted Daddy's blessing, and Daddy wasn't giving it to him. He went out there and he earned it, and he certainly played. I mean, it was a night and day situation for the way that Kachuk kind of rolled out of that thing there. You know, Carter Verhaeghe's one of those guys that I would look at too. I mean, his shot prop is 2.5, but I could see him sneaking in a goal. And
yeah.
I like that. I still like Lundell. You know, you look at Lundell there as the guy to replace him. His 2.5 shots on goal is juiced as well at -145. So if I was going to play him, though, I'd play him to get the goal. Why not have him go out there? It's plus 500. You got a nice risk reward for Lundell, the guy to be the replacement fill-in spot there to go out there and bang on some heads. I also like Listerainen. Why not? You know, he's kind of hasn't had the season he had last year, but there's a couple of names that could certainly make some noise, and you could get the big score out of an opportunity like that. So I always like to try to sign on for those opportunities with the high upside, low downside.
Yeah, let's get to this here. I'm back on this under. I have to be on it. The Islanders just can't get up and down and play for it. Sorkin's going to be in net tonight. I think they need to help him out, you know, and play tight hockey here, not try to get it up and down. You know, looking at this, I want to take the Islanders. I can't do it, you know. But something brings to me, though, until I see, like, this Canes team get things done, like, at this price, I can't take because it keeps going back. You mentioned the Jets. There's these teams that are just like, we see these teams all the time, and they're up 2-0 after that game you mentioned. Third period, just nuts. After they just kind of were out of it right away, Islanders jump all on top of them. That really kept that game under. Those quick goals, then we have the whole lull. The game's going to stay under maybe. It's 3-2. Boom, bang, bang, bang. 4 fucking goals in the last 2 minutes and 10 seconds, whatever it was. So I think it's, yeah, that was nuts. But I'm back on the under here. They just can't. They don't want to get into a crazy game. But I think the Canes will have some success. They've been just unbelievable the last couple of months. Power play's been really good. Islanders haven't been good in their penalty kill all year long. Has been very good to start out. So I think it'll be tough for them. But if they win it, it's got to be a 3-2 game like that. So I have to be on this under 5.5.
I went with the first period under. You know, I'm going to go right back to the well. We talked about this the last game they played, and kind of a more opportunity to keep that brisk pace with these playoff matchups when these guys have kind of, we just talked about it. This last series, when they played last year, every single one of those first periods went under. So, just because we took 2 of them on the chin thus far doesn't mean we're not going to try to roll back to it. I'll tell you the one number that I was.
And they've been crazy, Mike, the numbers with these two, the unders, when they get together, other than that last over, it's just been unders like crazy.
And, this thing's sitting at 5.5. They got 93% of the cash on the over, and yet it's not moving. So even the books they'll take your over money because they're pretty sure this thing's going to stay under the number, which makes a lot of sense to me. I originally was looking to parlay Carolina Hurricanes with the under 6.5. That was a plus 145 spot over on FanDuel.
That's not bad. You bump it up, take them, you think they're going to win. So, and then you get decent plus money with it. So I don't mind it.
But here's what stopped me. The Carolina Hurricanes, when they're off of back-to-back home wins, and then they go on the road this season, they're 1-7 in those spots. They're losing by 2.5 goals on average. The under is very
especially early in the year. They were awful. I mean, the 1-7 still, but they were just a bit awful early on.
So it pulled it out on me. I said, I'm not going to go take it. I'm not going to get cute with it. I'm just going to keep it clean. In and out of this thing, as much as I hate to kind of take these first period spots, a lot of times I've had some success with them as of late, and I'm going to run back to it. I think it's a lower scoring game. Both these teams that are down, shout out, I know Joe T's looking at these first period overs, but both these teams are backs against the wall here in these positions, and they can't afford to have high exposure risk opportunities to start these games. They got to grind this game. They got to play physical. They got to control the puck. And when you're controlling the puck, you're not going out there shooting 42 times on goal. You're going to get maybe that 18 to 20 type of shots on goal because you just can't let it get loose. You can't let that puck get into the other team's hands. And I think that equates to a lower scoring spot out there. So I'm with you. C-Mac likes the 5.5 for the full game. I'm on the first period. I was going to jump in on that first or the over on the full game as well, but I got cute with the same game parlay and a couple other things. So I like it. Let's root for no scoring in that game, C-Mac, and we can both cash and be happy. Any props that catch your eye?
No, I don't have in this game. And like I said, I can't take the Islanders. I just couldn't do it. But something says I think they could win this game. I don't know. We will see.
It's gonna be interesting. I'll tell you, Jarvis would be the guy that I looked at on the Carolina side of things here. But it's tough to get involved with props when you got lower scoring games, totals that you're expecting it to be a tight physical battle. I mean, it's going to be the fourth line guy that ends up scoring a goal. So for me, I would look at the most expensive return on a guy that's getting at least 7 minutes of ice time, and I would pop him in there to to be the guy to get it done. Jason Works says the Islanders over for the game, though. So we got a little bit of a mixed bag here. We've seen some overs flying out there in this playoffs to start things off, but I think this is where we start to see things settle down. This is that point, year over year where we see these guys, stakes are high. Things are getting tight. Ice gets a little more shrunken down out there, and they got to go battle and go head to head. So Jared Bush says, I got under 6.5 in the Panthers and Lightning. Yeah, minus 130. That's the spot, my guy, the Thursday spot for us. Jared Bush. Let's have some fun, guys. Let's get into this NBA. We've got 3 games in the NBA, and I'll throw a couple bonus draft props that I took out there for the NFL draft.
I didn't find a ton. The last couple of years I've made some decent money finding some. I just couldn't find anything great I wanted to move on at all. But I'd love to hear what do you have. But let's get to the NBA.
Let's get through this NBA and then let's dive in. The Cavaliers and the Magic are the first game. That's 7:00. We've got the 7, then we've got 7:30, and then we've got 10 p.m. So 7 p.m. the Cleveland Cavaliers on the road now against the Orlando Magic. This line went from plus 2.5 to -2. Now the Orlando Magic have gone from the dog to the favorite. 67% of the bets, but only 41% of the cash on the Orlando Magic. And a total that, really hasn't moved. We have 79% of the bets, 73% of the cash on the over, yet haven't seen any movement. We looked at these both these games, 97-83, the first game out there, 96-86. These guys are right in that wheelhouse or that index of lower scoring opportunities. And I guess the question is, do we see this being another lower scoring game? 206.5 on the total the first game. 205.5 the second game. Yeah. The books are clamping down. They're all the way down to 201s now in this thing here. Do you see a tight game? Do you think it's going to be a little more open? Is the 0-2 home team going to come back in this thing and start to make it a series?
I think the Magic can get one of these 2 games. They're just a year away. They don't have the shooters. This game, too, I worried that there could be some hot shooting both teams. Obviously, we love their defense. We love these teams play, and but they've just been dreadful from 2 inside, from 3. Both teams, 31%, 32% those 2 games. Just not a ton. The Magic haven't got to the line much. The Cavs a little more in game 2. They have advantage, with Allen, some of these guys, Mobley, that's hurt. The Wagner brothers need to be a lot better. Suggs is, been all right. He's limping around. And for them not to be able to hit shots, it's just – and I'm back on it, Mike. I'm back on the under here. First half, under 103. I was on the first 2 games. I think we have enough room. From the very beginning, I thought the first half should have been 101, and we had the 109 you're talking about. Now they've dropped this a little bit lower. I mean, they still need to have a big, and one of these teams could have a hot shooting, one out of the 2. So it was 58-44 the last game. It just stayed under a few. And you could go full game. The second halves have been great as well. But I'm going to stick to this. You get 103. We're still getting a little bit more than the full game. And I got to be on it. I have to be right back on this first half under in this series. And I got 103 at Bookmaker. That was kind of one of the only books I was able to catch the 103. Minus 110.
Yeah, I'm with you. This is one of those games I did jump in that first half. If you look at the overall first half full game, they're expecting that second half, to have, if you kind of break the number in half, you're getting more points to your favor in the first half, right? I guess it's probably the best way for me to say that. So,
yeah, really in the first, I just found that a little odd. A lot of these games you were getting more, because like yesterday was switched back in that late game. You got the less early, which it should have been. Like you were getting, 104, and then full game it was 212 in the Pelicans. It just barely went over by a couple of buckets. But that's normal. So this should be, probably whatever, 100, whatever. You know what I mean? Right. Like it just should be a little bit lower, 99, something like that.
I had that number. I had the 100 benchmark too in my head. I said if it's 100, I'm not going to touch it, or I'll go to the over. But if it was anything higher than that, I was comfortable with the under, and there we go with the 103. So to me, it's just like
bingo.
Let's not get too cute with it. Let's jump. Now I did jump on the Magic. I am taking the Magic -2. This trend applies for really, historically we see in the series when the favorites in round 3 are down 0-2. They're 63-28 overall. They're 54-35-2 against the spread. So. To go back at home now and become the favorite has historically shown a positive move. All 3 of the teams really apply in the same situation. I'm not sure what the Lakers line has done as of yet, but all 3 teams, when the initial lines had opened, fell into that criteria where the home team, as the favorite, should bounce back there at a 63-28 overall situation. The Magic are 14-0 when they're at home. If they lost 2 games ago and were between a 17-point loss to a 10-point win in the previous game. So a pretty wide margin there. It's a 14-0 spot for the Orlando Magic. And the Cavs are in a 1-14 spot. They either won or lost 2 meetings ago by double digits and won or lost by less than 7 the last meeting. You got a team that's starting to get clamped down is what that tells me. They busted them up by double digits the first time. They got tighter situation the second time, starting to get that familiarity with the team. And the third time they go out there and see a team, they just can't find a way to cover the spread. So in this case here, we got to see this Magic team bust this thing out. I'm on it. I'm with you in the first half, and I got the Magic -2 for the full game.
Yeah, I'd like this if it was just more of a pick 'em, but I get what you're looking at. It's gone a little bit just because how they've played. A lot of that's regular season, and I just think the Cavs, what they need to do, they just get one. And so the play should be banging there. First playoff game in a while. This team, Magic, have been awful for years now, since back when they were in the finals with the Lakers, like 08, something like that. But so it's a huge game, and these Cavs have kind of owned them even for this series. I know the Magic won once this year, but they kind of have gotten beat up from them. And I think one thing the Magic got to do, which both teams do well, is play defense. I think the Cavs are a little bit more polished and a better rebounding team, but they got to get dirty here. They got to play some defense and hit key shots, that's what was missing in those first 2 games in Cleveland. So I hope you get it. I think when we were looking at this last night, I was like, yeah, I want the Magic. Like I kind of want to pick them just to win, just to be safe. But man, I don't know if they get swept. I think they get one here. I hope they get it for you, Mikey. Let's just get the under.
Let's get that first half under. I'll take this one. If you're looking for a prop, I'll tell you, anybody that's in the prop market looking to get involved with that there as well. Jared Allen, 12.5 rebounds. It's like minus 105. It's crazy. The guy's fucking rebounding machine right now. First of all, he's an absolute specimen when it comes to the ability for this guy to go out there and cover. The guy covers almost 10 feet when he stretches his arms out. I mean, it's hard to get past this guy. And then you look at his two numbers, 20 rebounds in game 1, 18 rebounds in game 2. And they've got this number sitting at 12.5. So
wait. Yeah. Chris Mack, they don't have a home crowd, but I mean, this is the biggest you can get here for them, not playing like I mentioned. Yeah, Shaq and them, they went and lost, but they went to the finals. They got blown out by the Lakers. They didn't get swept, right? I think it was 4-1. The Lakers back-to-back championships there. But I mean, as big as you can get here for fucking City of Orlando, which really is just sleepers and a dump, that building. That's all I mean. But I get what you're saying. Shout out to the chat, by the way, Kent Davies, and everyone's going wild here. Let's just chill out with let's just fucking. We're here to win. Got games.
You're not betting enough money. That's what I said. You're not betting enough money if you're out there sitting there with these troll accounts and everything else that we're seeing in the chat out there. So bet more money. Chris Mack, it's good to see our guy. Razor Sharp Picks. Going to be doing a lot of fun tonight. He's going to be racing them ponies tonight there. A little late night with Razor After Dark. How about that, Steve?
Yeah, I'm going to jump on.
Get the cocktails and find the straps. We're going racing with Razor tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to.
I'm all for that except the strap. But
we all know that's where the money is in them straps. But speaking of money, let's look at this Knicks and Sixers game. I want to give you guys a couple of these fantasy or NFL draft props as well. So the Knicks game, the Sixers. Man, I'll tell you, I'll come right off the hop. I fucking lit this game up. For me, this was the light up special. Just like OKC last night, I went first half under, full game under. I got the Sixers in the first half, and I got the Sixers in the full game here. This line opened at minus 1.5. It's moved to 5.5 there. 4 points of movement, 80% of the bets, 59% of the cash on the Sixers. The total, 80% of the cash. 80% of the bets, 89% of the cash. The line's dropped a point from the 205.5 to the 204.5 out there. And I also shared with Jimmy's show earlier today that I got myself invested in that Sixers to win the series here. I think when a team goes down 2-0, they have like a 17% chance, or historically, the team has advanced 17% of the time. So not the best numbers going into it, but my theory with this plus 350 spot for this Sixers to win the series was the bet tonight. If they hit this game for me tonight at minus 5.5, then I'm essentially playing with a free roll, at the plus 350 shot. So I get it though, C-Mac. A lot of talk about Joel Embiid. This knee, I'm fucking sick of hearing about this knee already. And I'll tell you, we know Maxi's been playing like shit. We also know that the most prop bet tonight is Brunson over points, not just in this game, but the most prop bet in all of the NBA tonight is Brunson over 28.5 points. So that being said, C-Mac, I told you I lit this thing up. I know we're 0-2. To me, the Sixers, this home crowd's going to be rocking. They're going to be pissed. They've got revenge on the mind, clearly. I could break it down by some of the trends, but let's talk about this game for a minute here. What are you thinking about this spot for this game?
I'm right with you. I don't know how the Sixers come out here flat, and there's a problem. And they should be pissed after game 2, after blowing it. They should have won that basketball game. Embiid, so just him not fully healthy is not great. And he's carried the load. Maxey, who's been kind of sick, was great. I want to get the key. Maybe back home where they've been good all year, will help these guys. Because Oubre, Harris, Lowry, dog shit. These guys fucking suck. They look horrible. And at home, I think they're better tonight. They better be. I mean, Embiid and Maxey can't, they got to do a ton, but score 35-40. They're going to lose again. So look to those guys to do something. And I think they'll be pumped. I'm right with you. You know, we were talking last night. Sixers early and often. I just keep it to the first half. I think they can jump on him. One other thing, Josh Hart's been money. Took him a lot through the year. Double-double. It's very good. One thing I think Brunson might be good. OG. Josh Hart is not going to go 4 of 7 from 3 and 4 of 8 from 3. Just no way. He didn't do that all year, and he's not going to shoot 50% and make 4 threes again like he did. As much as he's going to play a ton of minutes. He basically played the full game last game. And probably gets a double-double, but it's more of like, you know, the 14 and 10. So, and not in the 20s with all those 3. Sixers at home. This is when you want the home Philly crowd here, Mikey, screaming at these sorry Knicks. So
I'll tell you,
I'm right with you.
It's funny when I lived in Philly, I dated a girl that she was involved in the ticket sales for corporate boxes.
Yeah.
So I'm being a hockey guy. She was only there for the NBA, though. She couldn't get the flyer. I mean, she could get Flyers games, but not in the box. But I'll tell you what, I went to many Sixers games in the skybox out there, and free booze and food, and that NBA.
When was this? Man, Allen Iverson?
End of the Iverson era, and then into the next. And it was a ton of. I mean, Iverson, when they had the gun situation and the domestic dispute, he was about 10 minutes or so from where I lived in Philadelphia. So when they had the helicopters out there, you could see him overhead of my place.
You were out there? You were like, what up?
I was out there. I was like, well, I mean, he was in the hills, so you couldn't see shit other than the helicopters. But the point is that crowd was, man, they love that Philadelphia team. I expect them to come out there. I'll tell you, you talked about a couple of guys here. I found a prop that's out there on Bet 365. It's plus 700. If you're into this game now, I'm looking at the under, so this is a tough one for me to get involved with. But that being said, Josh Hart, Tyrese Maxey, each to get 20-plus points and 2+ three-pointers is plus 700 at Bet 365. So,
right.
To me, when I see those kind of prepackaged opportunities, there's no chance in shit that's happening. But if you want to go out there and you want to play the game, plus 700 is pretty damn nice if you think Josh Hart can keep it going. I personally don't. I think you're right. He's kind of the numbers that he's had and what he did out there versus this defense that's going to come to town, to me, is the spot. You know, and I'll give you guys some of the numbers here. You kind of give you the opinion on the game, but the Knicks are 11-0 to the under when they shot less than 41% the last game. That trend was in place for the last game, and they covered that under as well. So the Knicks are 0-11 as a dog if they won the previous 2 meetings, and then lost that last one by a bucket in the third meeting out there. So again, the shrinking factor, when you see a team multiple times, it kind of just makes sense. It's a lot harder to beat those teams the more you see them. And then the Sixers are 13-1 to the under when they're at home if they lost the previous 2 meetings between a team. So again, defense kind of shines through. Everything to me points to the under. It's a quad spot for me. It's the first half under, full game under, first half minus 4.5. First weird spot that the first half's minus 4.5. To me, it feels like, just hear me out.
I don't want full game though here. I think the Knicks could hang around if they don't really jump on them. The Sixers, I think they could hang in this game. Now there's 5.5, 6. I'm just putting that out there. Maybe I'm wrong. That's why I think early's the best. But I don't mind the first half under. I want a 4.5.
It feels to me like you've got a 4.5 in the first half and then a 5.5 for the full game. It feels to me like they're saying someone's going to go out there and blow these teams out, and then that third quarter we're going to start to see them sit and some of the bench players start to come in there. So hopefully it's the Sixers kicking the shit out of the Knicks, and they can coast it on that 5.5. But if that's my soft spot, if that's my vulnerability is the minus 5.5, let's just win the game and go 3-1 if I have to. But I like it. I think it's a good spot for the Sixers to bounce back with that home crowd. And the last game we've got, C-Mac, we've got Denver and the Lakers. Now, before I even get into it, hard to do anything 10 times in a row in any particular spot out there. And 10 times in a row, we've seen these Nuggets have taken down LeBron James and his Lakers. This line opened at +1. It's now minus 1.5 in favor of the Lakers. We have 38% of the bets, 58% of the cash on the Lakers, and it's been enough to move this team. The number started at 216.5. It's moved up to 217.5. 49% of the bets, 79% of the cash on the over in this game. Full disclosure, this is not one of those spots where I'm going with the first half under strategy. Chris Mack says 11 in a row tonight. Jason Works says that first half number seems suspicious. No, it seems to me like they're loading it up because they expect the Sixers and Embiid to kick the shit out of the Knicks. And then in the third quarter and the fourth quarter, they put him on a little bit of a minutes restriction, and he's not out there. That's what that number reads to me. The full game, maybe to C-Mac's point, is, kind of where maybe that vulnerability comes into play. But we'll see what happens out there. We will certainly see Chris Max's 11 in a row. Cheshire Cats wiling out. My guy Cheshire, man. Let's have a good time. Let's have some fun. Trisha M says, no shame in our game. Must have felt good with Iverson got the small little trophy. It was funny to see that, though, wasn't it? Sancho's talking about that other group out there that's trying to do this thing, but they don't do it as good as we do it. You guys are fun. It's going to be fun tonight to see what happens here. This Nuggets and Lakers game, I'll give you guys some of these numbers right off the hop for this game. A couple of the trends that I was able to kind of pull down from the ether and the stratosphere here has to do a lot with Anthony Davis. And after Anthony Davis has a big game, 32 points last game, when he gets at least 20 points, they're 10-1-1 the following game out there in the Anthony Davis situation. And when the Lakers come off that loss where they had a lead of 13 points or more, that following game, they're 8-0 straight up and 8-0 against the spread. C-Mac, is it going to be lucky number 11 for the Denver Nuggets, or do the Lakers have themselves a puncher's chance tonight?
I think the Lakers have a puncher's chance, and I think they can win. And I like them here. It's not been easy in the fold of this Nuggets team. The fold of the Lakers and how good they've been in the second half, fourth quarter is real. But I think this is the game they got to get. I thought the matchup was pretty good. We saw at times, even though the Nuggets, they were short numbers last year in the playoffs, and they covered the Lakers. I thought it was decent for just getting kind of their ass kicked. There wasn't a ton of blowouts, at least 3 out of the 4, I think. And I think that's here. I think the Lakers very good early. One thing that was key last game, D'Angelo Russell had a great game because he's the shits. When he's been awful, it's rough. They're gonna get their ass whooped. Well, Anthony Davis and LeBron can only do so much. Hachimura's got to be good. I think he can. Austin Reeves didn't have a great game. He should be a little bit better here at home. And Lakers should be pissed. You led the whole game. And, of course, Murray's just a great player. It's a great shot. And you saw Anthony Davis react to it. He was pissed there. He just dropped the mic. He hit a shot. He walked off. I think the Lakers can get it.
These guys have exposed themselves here. The Sixers exposed themselves a little bit by trying to cry the foul game and reporting they want to file the grievance with the committee about the not being able to call timeouts. Then LeBron's dropping the mic talking about how Philly got screwed. These guys, some of these star guys have really put themselves out there, and I think I see the comment in the chat there about man, you guys are fucking on. It's hard to even look at the chat. You guys are just on one tonight. I don't even know what's going on. Everybody's fucking wiling out tonight.
Right. 150 in here. Hit the like button if you haven't. We only got 64 likes. Come on now.
Smash. You guys are smashing each other in the chat. Smash that like button out there and be nice to each other. Come on now.
Yeah.
It's all about having some fun out there. Look, for me, I'm on the Lakers first half.
Mikey is the teacher. He's the kindergarten teacher. Be nice. Come on. Just trying to make money here. Be nice.
I just want to get paid. You guys aren't betting enough money on these games if you got all this. I said it 15 times this show already here. When you got the kind of action involved with these things, I don't got time to look at anything else. I'll fuck around with some horses tonight, but this nonsense with this side bitching at each other, you guys are just it's funny. It's funny to me to see it when I'm on somebody else's show. It's just tough to stay focused and make sure we give you guys all these goods. So anyway, C-Mac, I'm on the Lakers first half -2.5. I got the full game. There's another one of those weird spots where it's 2.5 on the first half, but it's -1 now for the full game. I just took a -110. I got a -110 Lakers to win the full game as well.
Same. I do too, and I put in a little bit because I, for the most part, even last year, just took the Nuggets. Yeah, and they beat up the Lakers, and it worked. But I thought the matchup was all right, and game 2 they showed it, and if they don't bring it here, it's over. They're fucked. I mean, they win maybe the next game, but that means nothing. They can't go to Denver, I don't think, being down 3-1 really with a shot. So got to give their best effort here.
I think this is the game where LeBron cried foul last game. They're going to kind of, he's the superstar. Give him a little, and he's back home. So, he'll all those circumstances kind of align themselves for LeBron to have the night. Then the series is over. He loses the next game. He goes into Denver. He loses that game, and his season's over as well. So, although I will say this, my original assessment was he was going to win that play-in game so that they could play Denver, and either he wins or he's got to go home and get it out of the way so that he can go out there and get his son in the squad next year. But
stop with that. He's Jesus.
What's going on?
I know he wants that, but that's not. He's not. He can't even play good in college. So
he's going to Duquesne. Did you see that? Did you see the stat? That's
so he can shoot. So he can shoot 25 times a game and average 15 points.
He's going to play a bunch of, albeit though, some St. Bonaventure games might be live. We might be able to see a little LeBron James down there in the little A10 battle with this Duquesne team. So, it's a good conference to be in, like you said, if you want to just go out there and ball hog and shoot the ball like crazy. Who's going to get in his way from that? So, I thought that was pretty interesting though. Duquesne got him excited. The coach kind of let the air out of the bag the other day, and everybody rumored on it. And then I saw it. today with my own two eyes. I couldn't believe it. Fucking Brown's going to be playing in the A10, but nonetheless, I do think that they win this game here with the Lakers, and then Smashville here. They got season over. But C-Mac, I've got myself a couple of. I already dropped some bets in here. These are just $50 prop bets for me. Nothing crazy. Nothing too extreme in the NBA or the NFL draft. But a couple moves that I did make. First of all, the big one for me is there's two big ones. The first one is Brock Bowers, right? Here's this tight end situation. Everyone's talking about him. He's the best tight end, I think, that's, in this draft out there. And to me, it's schematics and scheme. Where's he going to fit the best? When you look at what's going on out there, I originally kind of thought, well, maybe this is a Jets type of situation because the Jets are one of those teams that could use a tight end. But no, I looked at the numbers. I looked at the overall situation between where he's going to fall or where he's projected in terms of his over-under 12.5. And it being juiced to the under. There's a team that's in that top 10 profile there to me that has an opportunity that needs a tight end, and it's the Los Angeles Chargers. It's plus 1,000 for this Brock Bowers to go on over to the LA Chargers. It's plus 1,000 for me. Now, the Chargers have the 5 spot, right? So the question becomes, are they going to go out there and aggressively go after that position with the 5 spot?
Well, wait, here. Let me stop you real quick for one sec. That's the bet I was looking at here was take the wild shot because he's moving up. He's going to be in the top 10, I'm pretty sure. Do you take a shot with the 5? Because it's 18-1, top 5. And that's probably where he'd be, was 5. Just a crazy bet, 18-1 there with Brock Bowers. I don't think he goes there, but I was looking at that today. Keep going. Sorry. That was one that I was just glancing at.
So the rumor mills, I woke up this morning. I must have had some cocktails last night because I woke up this morning and I was like, I'll cap some baseball. And then I was like, let me start looking at some of this other shit. Surprisingly, though, who's on the move, who's in conversation are the Minnesota Vikings. They let go of Cousins. They said Cousins can go fuck himself. They got the Pastronaut out there from a quarterback position. But there's rumor that they might want to try to bring Jefferson back together with his old college quarterback out there. Wouldn't surprise me to see, based on what I was reading, it wouldn't surprise me to see that, he's in 5. The Chargers have the 5 spot. We got Bowers as projected under 12.5 picks, right? The Minnesota Vikings are sitting in that 11 position right now. They trade the 11 and the 5. Big opportunity out there now. The Chargers drop back in the draft to pick up some more capital. They can still pick this guy up in the 11 spot out there. Yeah, to take him at the 5 spot in general, just a 5 spot in general, is 3,500. So there's a lot of ways to go after it there. The Chargers' first pick, being a tight end, was plus 18-1 as well. I focused in a lot on this guy here because he just seemed to be the hot commodity. And I'll tell you another position player that I took here, another spot that I took a look at was plus 425. And you got to be careful with some of these ones because it's kind of like football props with the Gatorade color and how long's the Super Bowl. Not every state has these legal, so some of these you got to roll on over to like BetUS or Bet Online. I've got my local. A lot of your locals will have availability for these, but like New York, that's one of those states. DraftKings and FanDuel, legal books can't allow you to bet on these things, so you got to make sure you line shop because there's a considerable difference here. But Bet Online had a nice little plus 425 spot. The Cincinnati Bengals going out there, first pick of the draft for the Cincinnati Bengals. What do you think the Cincinnati Bengals need most? To me, it was defense. I looked at the defensive line. It's plus 425. The number is so fucking stupid. When you look at my local book, it's plus 185 for this guy on my local, but BetOnline had it at plus 425. Cincinnati Bengals defensive line edge position to be the first draft pick that they take tonight.
They need that and offensive line.
Offensive line, too. That was the other thing I looked at. The number discrepancy was where I kind of saw that defensive line position. I mean, there's a lot of ways I guess you could analyze it, but just felt like there's a lot of opportunity for that D-line, and they can't just let Joey Burrow keep – guys are going to want to get out of there if they don't start winning games, and they can't just go out there and get into battle. You've got guys like – Cincinnati, who are they going to be playing? It's going to be Josh Allen. It's going to be Patrick Mahomes every fucking year. And Brett Favre, if he's healthy, or Aaron Rodgers, if he's healthy. I always call Aaron Rodgers Brett Favre. They got the same fucking lineage as far as I'm concerned. But in any event, I felt like they need to improve that edge rush so they can put some pressure on those quarterbacks and try to force them to turn it over. And, when you look at it, Jalen Carter goes 9 last year. They just lost DJ Reader in the offseason. So to me, it just felt like moving kind of the chess pieces around the defensive line at plus 425 for the Cincinnati Bengals made a lot of sense.
We'll get it. I'm going to look at something. Last year, I think it might have been plus 400. I had D-end Carter. It's like top 10 or the second D lineman. But there's too many the quarterbacks here in this draft. But they're all up there, and these guys, most of them are going to be bust. I think I just nothing. JJ McCarthy, I don't know. Bo Nix. I mean, Jaden Daniels is really good. He's not a big guy, so and a lot of them are up here. It's just it should be interesting where they fall and what happens, the shakeup. But I'm going to try to keep looking. I just didn't find a ton that I thought was great value.
I can't say this guy's name, but Udonzi, is it Rome Odunzi? Is that how I don't know how to say it?
From Washington?
Yeah. So Marvin Harrison Jr.
Odunze.
Odunze. Thank you. Marvin Harrison Jr. Refused to sign the name, image, likeness agreement for his jersey situation out there. And if you look at his ability to be drafted as the number 1 wide receiver, it's like minus 10,000. This guy's going to be the number 1 wide receiver out there, Marvin Harrison Jr. But he doesn't want to play for the team that he's playing for. That, in my opinion, that's the reason why he won't sign the contract. That means his jersey sales won't be available until he finalizes the name, image, likeness deal, which is probably going to come after he signs a contract with the team that he does want to play for. I don't think he wants to play where he's going to end up getting drafted. And I think his scouts and everybody kind of with the mock drafts, I don't know exactly where that's going to be. I do expect him to go early. He's definitely a specimen and a half. But this Washington kid to get drafted as the second wide receiver is plus 300. Now, Neighbors, second best
Neighbors, I think. But I think that might be a decent look. A lot of people, Neighbors there, 6 to 10 type. But, those are the bets you want to look for with some value that I found over the years where I've cashed pretty good here on the draft.
And then Andrew G says the Pats really like Drake May, that stud. Yeah, it's funny because there's rumor that them Patriots are going to somehow take this guy in the number 3 position, which would mean that potentially the first 3 picks in the draft are quarterbacks. So I'll tell you, I read that rumor. Then I look back at it. For him to be the 3rd drafted quarterback, it's like minus 650. So that's a strange number to have out there. And then here come these Patriots kind of swirling around, trying to move into that 3 spot and take advantage with a new quarterback to kind of build the regime. Wouldn't surprise me to see that happen out there. I just couldn't find any value on it. Now you could take the Patriots. It was down in my books when I looked at them. So the rumor must have slipped out and everybody knows about it. So there was no way for me to see the Drake Mayo spot, but Udunze there to be the second wide receiver. I talked about Brock Bowers for you guys, the Cincinnati Bengals situation. The only other one I looked at was, the first running back to be drafted being Jonathan Brooks. It's minus 130. It's a reasonable number for this guy. Clearly the best running back, I think, in the draft. Every mock draft has him going as the first guy to get it done. Hurt his knee. Definitely a setback for the guy. But, even though we saw, previous players, Jamison Williams tore his ACL and the Lions traded up to get him anyways in the first round out there. So guys come back from knee injuries. Jonathan Brooks is minus 130 to be the first running back drafted. And I think that's a good position as well. That one doesn't matter if it's in the first round or the second round. But I do expect him to get off the board in the first round. So probably later spot there. Probably be stupid Philadelphia Eagles move or something like that, in my opinion.
I love it. It will be a good watch here for everything that's going on.
Yeah, it'll be some fun to see what happens. So that's going to do it for us, C-Mac. Let's everyone know what you got going on, where they can find you, and then let's talk a little bit about getting some cash, my guy.
Yeah, let's get to it. This should be a good night. The hockey, Lightning. I'm on it. Let's see if they can step up. I think the hockey game's good. Under 5.5. Canes Islanders. Back on that. I think we get it done. First half under. I got 103. I'm glad I got that, but there's 102.5s everywhere. I still love it. Even one of those teams gets hot. I don't think they both do. I think we stay under there. Sixers first half. Lakers money line. See the Lakers. I'm a little because I've been so big on the Nuggets. I didn't have them game 2, but last year, and I still think they were easy to take the Lakers apart. But I kind of like the matchup. Lakers. I deal like the Russell, the Reeves. These guys nose showing just scares me a bit. But Lakers showtime, purple and gold one time.
One time from our guys.
Oh, we have the Soto too. We talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
The Ribby. Yeah.
Take that Ribby, a little plus 200 action. That game should be popping off here any minute now as well. So good stuff, C-Mac. A lot of fun. Get to even talk a little, little NFL spots out there. Like I said, they're just little fun spots for me, to something to kind of watch to keep the draft interesting and keep an eye on what my Eagles try to do. But should be a lot of fun. I'm sure I'll be seeing you momentarily or shortly over there with our guy Racing with Razor. Guys, check him out tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. Racing After Dark with Razor should be a great time, you guys. Dan Kelly, Jason Work, Andrew G, Winner's Circle. You guys are great, man. Dust 10 up in the house there. Tone Miggins, our guy. Tone there likes that Cavs first half money line plus 130 for a half a unit. Let's go. You guys make it so much fun to do this thing. I don't know. You guys were on one today. I hope that correlates to blessing our action with some big stacks of green.
I love it.
It's a lot of fun hanging out with you guys, man. We love you guys coming in here on the regular, and win, lose, or draw, you always got our back. So we appreciate that, and we'll be doing it again tomorrow. So we'll see you same time, same place, Pub Sports Radio, 6 p.m. If you guys haven't done so already, go subscribe over there on YouTube. Get the notification button turned on. We do a lot of these live streams. We do a lot of different shows and programming. You guys are going to want to be in the know when we go live. Made some great cash last night. Everybody was clicking in gear, and we were kind of just live betting and sweating the NHL, the NBA, and Major League Baseball. And it's so much fun to do it with you guys. So until tomorrow, good luck with your bets. Stay popping, baby.